Here we go. Alright, here we go. This is my first ever video podcast where I'm actually speaking to the camera and speaking over the microphone. This is going to be fun. I have been thinking a lot about a relationship with each other. But before that, I want to welcome everyone to the Gain podcast. Welcome to the Gain. Here you get to learn and explore topics that are very much relatable, that can help you excel, become better human being, become a better person in your journey of life. Today's topic is called interconnectedness, and I've been reflecting a lot on how our role as people can have such a massive impact on the entire world. Our nature of existence is not just limited to our families, but it is a massive array of things that possibly surpasses our own understanding. And what I have been actually trying to dig into is how one thing impacts the other and how one little change can cause a disruption in another place. And this is very true in many ways. A lot of scientists have been looking into it. A lot of journalists have been looking into it. As an aspiring journalist, when I joined Bournemouth University, I was introduced to professor, and he was talking about global journalism, and he was talking about our interconnectedness, where one news enters one part of the world and it funnels a way for other news to spread. And we actually made a PowerPoint presentation on that. We were divided into groups, and we had to do a lot of research, a lot of discoveries about how we could have an impact globally through our medium of information. Very complex topic, and I personally feel I need to do more research on it. So forgive me if I do not have the full understanding of how interconnectedness works as a whole, in the science and in nature and in our economics, in globalization, all these things, our financial institute, spirituality, philosophy, and all those parts. I just want to quickly dig deep into a bit of science and nature. How, the forest in Sumatra, for example, where palm oil is being heavily extracted, can impact India, can impact Antarctica. See, this is not just about global climate change. It's got more to do with how our ecological space works. And it's also got to do with our biology as a universal and collective kind of a consciousness. Science have looked a bit into the quantum entanglement. In quantum physics, particles can remain connected over vast distances, a challenge that is still being perceived by a lot of scientists, and they are trying to understand the idea of separation. The body is understood as interconnected system, like our nervous system, immune system. They're communicating constantly, and this is just a glimpse of what interconnectedness could look like. Whereas in spiritual traditions, the unity of life and deeper connection between individuals and creation and the supreme divine, whether you want to call it God, universe, um, divine, and our connection with the divine. Whether it's Christianity that talks about one body, many parts, Buddhism talks about, interbeing, and other religions talk about, like Hinduism talks about collective consciousness. Sikhism talks about collective consciousness, that we all are connected to each other more than we know. Like, I can give you a very random example of how, it impacts me a lot when there's something going on in my family. For example, if my dad is ill, I'm sitting here in the UK and he's in India. I can sense that there is something immensely wrong. And when he is alright, or when my mom is alright, I can feel that my energies tend to go up. The same way, when there are wars happening all over the world, there is a sense of exhaustion, there is a sense of pain, and that pain is indescribable. I just don't want to talk about wars right now. There's a lot of good things that are happening in this world, like people doing so much research, people really getting out of their comfort zone and subscribing to their real identity, and their real identity as, conscious being. There's a lot of goodness in this world, and I'm not in any way focusing on the negatives, but it does impact. Whether it's a positive impact or a negative impact, the collective connectedness has an impact. And when when we meditate on something, the thought that we have about a specific thing, if we really drill deep into that thought, we can know a lot about it. And all right, we're back again. So what are some of the scientific research that have been done on interconnectedness? Apparently there is a systematic thinking and complexity science done by J. Foster of MIT. He studied the urban dynamics. His insight was that kind of model cities and their interconnected systems, showing how housing, employment, infrastructure kind of interacted together, amalgamated together, and had a feedback loop analysis, which led to the development of businesses, environment, and policies. There's another research on limits to growth, which is done by Daniela Meadows from the Club of Rome. That was her research group. The findings that she found were exponentially economical and based on population growth. And she used system dynamics to model, and understand interconnectedness between economy, population, environmental degradation, and so on. There are many scientists that have been doing that. One of the scientists who even won a Nobel Prize in physics is Alan Aspect, John. There are actually three of them, who tried to understand quantum entanglement, which is another part of interconnectedness. They were Alan Aspect, John Clauser, Anton Zillinger. Their insights demonstrated that particles can remove interconnectedness across space, conforming in non-local correlations, which is predicted by quantum mechanics. What impact did this research have? They try to understand the separateness of physics in the physical world. Let's try to look at how spirituality and what kind of research have been done in spirituality and science. There was a research done by David Bohm, and his research was called the implicate order, done in 1980, where he tried to understand theoretical physics and philosophy. His idea of the universe is deemed to be as undivided whole with apparent separations, that being the projections of deeper interconnectedness. What inspired his research were science and spirituality, of course, including Dalai Lama. There was another neurophenomenology that was done by Francisco Varela, who studied neuroscience and Buddhist meditation, where he explored conscious experience and brain activity very deeply are intertwined, challenging mind-body dualism. There's fascinating facts about interconnectedness. So there are plenty of people who've done research on interconnectedness, and I'm not shocked by it at all. I mean, I'm just scratching the surface right now, trying to understand how we all are, you watching this video and I'm producing this video, are interconnected, and there is a brain wave and brain pattern and something that our eyes can't see. There is electricity going on while you receive this information and while I produce this information. It is mind-boggling. Honestly, I would like to dig more deeper into this science and understand how one thing here right now can impact the whole universe. Let's find out. Thank you so much for listening to my episode on interconnectedness. This is your favorite show, The Gain Podcast, and I'm going to be starting more videos that will be interactive, and I would love your feedback on it. Thank you so much for listening.